procedure. Now the monkeys are smart, just like Stephen Hawking, and they review movies, sometimes praising, sometimes mocking.
There are films that we love.
There are films that we hate.
So you can get reviews from a brilliant primate. They're addicted to movies. They're a couple of film junkies. Is it bad or is it groovy? Ask the Cinemonkeys.
Oh, hello there. Welcome to this week's edition of Cinemonkeys. I am Zoom, and this is Sprocket. Where are you, Sprocket?
Right here. Right here.
What are you doing?
Oh, just trying to get all the popcorn I can, you know. I'm really hungry and I'm not gonna break down and eat one of those hot dogs. You know, they delivered those opening weekend of Beauty and the Beast. The animated version.
Oh dear.
Oh, you know, we should probably talk about the movies we saw.
Oh, talk about the movies.
Yes.
What a novel idea.
This week we're reviewing Hostiles, the new Christian Bale.
Hostiles, not Hostels.
Oh.
This isn't an Eli Roth film.
Oh, okay. Hostiles, the new Christian Bale and Rosamund Pike Western, and also 12 Strong.
Hostiles begins in 1892 with a shockingly violent sequence in which a family of settlers named Quaid are attacked by a Comanche war party.
Not the Star Whackers?
No.
You know, the Star Whackers went after Randy, and maybe they got these Quaids by mistake, and they just blamed the Comanches. That's exactly the kind of thing the Star Whackers would do, Zoom.
In 1892, Randy Quaid wasn't even born yet.
And maybe now he never was. They sent Terminators back to the Old West to kill his relatives. Evil geniuses. You know, hey, you know, Christian Bale was John Connor in one of the bad Terminator movies.
Quiet!
The Comanches murder and scalp Mr. Quaid and his 3 children, but his wife Rosalie manages to escape. Meanwhile, in stately Fort Berenger in New Mexico, Captain Joseph Blocker is then called to the office of Colonel Abraham Biggs, who informs him of his new orders direct from the President. Escort dying Cheyenne War Chief Yellow Hawk and his family back to their tribal lands in Montana. Blocker balks at the assignment, making his sentiments toward the natives abundantly clear.
How does he feel about the Star Whackers?
They're his favorite death metal band. What do you think? Now, please, go play in traffic and let me do this review. Now then.
We learn that Blocker's military career has been somewhat defined by his bloody skirmishes with the natives. He reluctantly accepts the assignment in order to keep his pension, and the party heads off into the wilderness together, soon coming across the charred remains of the Quaid home.
Oh! Is it the motorhome he parked in front of Chevy Chase's house? Because if it is, those soldiers are going to be really upset when they try to use the bathroom, if you know what I'm saying. Because
we are not talking about Randy Quaid. We are never talking about Randy Quaid. He is not relevant to this movie or any other movie, nor will he ever be again.
Okay, Zoom, I got it. No more talk about Randy Quaid.
Thank you.
We don't want to anger the Star Whackers.
We'll be right back after this.
Hey, Zoom, what are you doing down there?
I'm trying to talk about a film, the latest film by the director of Out of the Furnace and Black Mask, and what do? You get all about Randy Quaid? And we're back. Now then. Director Scott Cooper has crafted a dark, moody, and depressing Western based in the harsh realities of life on the frontier, and one that deals unflinchingly with the savagery and brutality that took place, some of it in the name of so-called patriotism, and much merely in the name of self-preservation. Cooper's cast
led by Christian Bale as Blocker, Rosamund Pike as Rosalie, and Wes Studi as Yellowhawk, is tip-top. But this film moves at a slow gait, and often seems unsure as to where exactly it is heading. Sometimes wandering a bit aimlessly, unsure what message it's trying to deliver. And Cooper's commitment to staying grounded in the reality of the moment is both the film's greatest strength and biggest weakness, as it prevents the story from ever truly reaching a crescendo. It's a far more true-to-life film than, say, The Revenant, but never quite as gripping. It makes it to its destination in the end, and in fine fashion, but there remains a frustrating feeling that this good film should have been a great one. Hostiles gets 3.5 bananas out of 4 from me.
Ha ha. Alright, now, as a welcome change of pace from all the superhero films out there, we get a real-life war drama starring Thor, General Zod, and Ant-Man's Latino sidekick.
For some reason, January has become Hugger Republican month in Hollywood, with at least one major release per year aimed at the American Sniper or Lone Survivor crowd. You know who I mean, the people that deeply resent you because you don't have an American flag on your garbage can, or support the troops, or shoot a duck for Jesus bumper stickers on the truck you don't own. This year's entry comes from Hollywood mega producer and longtime military recruiter Jerry Bruckheimer, and it's called 12 Strong. It tells the story of Task Force Dagger, a group made up of CIA paramilitary officers and U.S. Army Green Berets who were sent to Afghanistan, where they joined forces with General Abdul Rashid Dostum of the Northern Alliance to help the fight against Taliban forces, who of course were brought to power in 1988 by Ronald Reagan and John Rambo. Chris Hemsworth stars as Captain Mitch Nelson, a tough, testosterone-filled man who has the balls it takes to lead such a ballsy operation, with Michael Shannon as Chief Warrant Officer Hal Spencer, the only guy with the nards that Mitch would trust to help him get the job done, and Michael Pena plays the token Hispanic, and he's got the cojones to make it work.
Oh, Sprocket!
Yeah, Zoom?
I'm sorry, do we really need all of these references to, well, male virility?
Sure we do, Zoom. I learned from watching this movie that military ops aren't about planning or tactics. They're about good old-fashioned genital-on-genital manhood. And if you don't have the scalps for that, you shouldn't be on this mission. We need men who are willing to put their jingle bells on the line. And I'm starting to wonder if you have the bojangles for it, Zoom.
All right, fine. Have fun playing with your metaphors by yourself. Testosterone!
Now, because the soldiers traveled on horseback, including in combat, they were dubbed the Horse Soldiers, which was originally intended to be the title of the film. I have mixed feelings about the change. I don't really like the idea of stealing a title from an old classic John Ford cavalry movie. On the other hand, 12 Strong sounds more like a type of Tylenol than a movie title.
So, will you stop that?
Oh, what? Was it distracting you? Is it annoying to have someone being noisy and obnoxious while you're trying to do a review? Oh!
Whack you in the stars.
Hemsworth carries the film capably, though his character is underwritten. In fact, all of the characters are underwritten, hardly displaying any particular character or personality traits other than the determination to get some payback for 9/11. And the portrayal of the Taliban villains is as one-dimensional as the Nazis in any old-school World War II movie. I'm not asking for him to be portrayed positively in any way, of course, just something a little more nuanced than the snarling woman killers dressed in black that we see here. In fact, the failing of the film in general is its lack of subtlety and nuance, which is a shame because director Nikolai Fugelsig keeps his staging and pacing nice and fluid most of the way, creating a film that engaged me and held my attention much more than I was expecting. And he handles his action scenes well, too. In fact, if the story were fictional, I'd go a lot easier on this, but it's asking a lot of an audience to just ignore 16 years of context on the war in Afghanistan and get into a rah-rah adventure movie that portrays American know-how and determination leading to a stunning victory, and only has one short and excessively on-the-nose monologue to touch on the complex, drawn-out conflict that still follows it.
12 Strong is actually a fairly good adventure movie if you can suspend deeper thought long enough to enjoy the Afghan war portrayed as one. But a deeper, more thoughtful film that portrayed the soldiers as multi-dimensional humans instead of just macho heroes would have been more compelling and ultimately more respectful. I gave it 2.5 bananas.
Yeah, indeed. While I normally strongly advocate treating the audience with respect and intelligence, I find it irresponsible in this day and age to make a film that deals with the Middle East conflict that simply glosses over the huge jump from Taliban to travel ban.
Well, it took some big donut holes to say that, Zoom. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Cinemonkeys. Join us next week for another one. Hey, Zoom, you got any more of those milk duds? Your mouth is stuck? You can't talk. Well, here's the thing you gotta know about the Star Whackers. They're...